You're losing your patience as a pet owner, your indoor dog continues to soil in the house, and your cat continues to go outside the box. Studies indicate house soiling can account for up to 70% of behavioral problems in cats. And on this episode of the Paw Report, we're joined by Dr. Sally Foote from the Okaw Veterinary Clinic in Tuscola to talk about what to do if your pet doesn't have good potty practices. So stay with us.
Okaw Vet Clinic in Tuscola and Dr. Sally Foote remind you to properly take care of your pets and are happy to help support the Paw Report on WEIU. Okaw Vet Clinic located at 140 West Sale Street in downtown Tuscola. More information available at okawvetclinic.com.
Dave's Decorating Center is a proud supporter of the Paw Report on WEIU. Dave's Decorating Center features the Mohawk Smart Strand Silk Forever Clean Carpet. Dave's Decorating Center, authorized Mohawk Color Center in Charleston.
All of us as pet owners have most likely experienced this problem, and that's why we've invited Dr. Sally Foote from the Okaw Veterinary Clinic from Tuscola to join us on this episode of the Paw Report. And of course, she brought her pal Ranger. We love Ranger here on the Paw Report. I tell you what, this cat I think is made for television. He loves to be the star of the show. There he goes. He's going to go explore. But today we're talking about specifically behavioral problems with our pet. And you know, there's a wide range of behavioral problems, Dr. Foote, but specifically we're going to talk about the pottying problem that both dogs and cats can have. Now, when we talk about a behavioral problem, a pottying problem, it can be medical, but it also can be behavioral.
Or both.
Or both, yes.
Right. So when a client, when your pet is having accidents in the house, when they're young, say we have a puppy, they need to learn, to go outside. And so in the first week that might be happening, but if you're following the instructions right, and I really mean that, consistently following, say how to get a puppy outside every hour and praise them when they're outside and give them a reward when they're outside so they know that's the right thing to do and the right place to put it, etc. Most puppies are going to train up, frankly, within a few weeks. Now, you still have to stay on the plan because it hasn't become a habit yet. And same thing, kittens. Kittens learn how to use the litter box from their mother and being around them. And if we keep the litter box clean, meaning scooped out every day, and we do not change the brand of litter on the cat, and we don't have the box in the middle of a traffic zone where they're going to get interrupted or scared around the box, then as long as we don't have any other either health problems or big changes in the home, environmental changes, as we say, that can create anxiety for either the dog or the cat, we won't really have much of a problem with accidents. So now then, when accidents happen, it's important to, first of all, it's important to call your veterinarian or at least your veterinary staff and say, hey, things have changed here. Either puppy's having a lot of accidents or my puppy's not training up right, it's very frustrating. Because there may be either something physically that's making it hard for them to be able to control their urination, or it may be some other factors like two cats fighting and one is blocking the other one from getting to the litter box properly. And we have a behavior problem that's coming out as a litter box problem. And, and that's our job, is to help decipher, or even if it's both, we have to address both.
Now, as the veterinarian, I come in and I say my pet has a problem. How do you specifically diagnose? Is it a behavioral problem? Is it a medical problem? Is it a series of questions and a deep conversation that you have with the client to pinpoint that problem? Actually, yes. And so that's why so the first thing we usually like to do is, first of all, let's do the physical exam, get a urine sample and check that, because that's kind of the quickest thing. And if we have a medical problem, we know we need to start addressing that. Then once we've gotten that part done, usually while, say, maybe the urine test is running, through the veterinarian or maybe through the veterinary technician,
they will ask the owner for the history, meaning, how often are the accidents happening? Where are they happening? Have there been any changes in, say, an exercise schedule, allowing them out? Has anybody moved into the house? Have we changed our brand of food? Do we have new people who have moved in or moved out? What are you doing when your pet has had an accident? Are you yelling at them? Are you rubbing their face in there? Are you scolding them? Because actually a lot of the old, training things, that then creates anxiety in the pet about going to the bathroom. And that can translate to where they're actually kind of afraid to go to the bathroom outside. So they're holding it, and then they can't help it. Then they have an accident and they're hiding. They feel like they're kind of stuck. Or even I've had some histories where like the dog or the cat may be going over the heating grate so it goes away, right? And the owner doesn't discover it because they knew they were going to get punished, but for whatever reasons, maybe the other cat was blocking this cat from getting to the litter box, or this cat was 10 years old and he needed to now urinate 3 or 4 times a day because his kidneys aren't working well and he's making a bigger urine volume, and he's gone in the litter box, and for the cat, when he's urinated in the litter box 2 or 3 times, he says, well, I marked that, I need to go elsewhere. So he is trying to find his elsewhere, but he got sprayed with a water bottle where he did it on the carpeting, so now he's finding a way that it goes away. So that's where this now would be like a combined medical and behavior problem. But we need to know he's going on the on the heating grate, because that's creating a problem in the home and living with him. You don't want your house smelling like urine.
No.
And so we need to know that to help figure out, okay, how are we going to get them back in the litter box? What are the ways that we're going to get a new box and put it in a place where he can go and make sure it gets cleaned out regularly? And that takes, gathering that history.
Let's split up, if we can, and some of it may overlap, management techniques for dogs, management techniques for cats, 2 very different animals. Let's start with dogs.
Okay.
How do we train? What are the best techniques for training a dog to go in the right spot? And how can we manage that and make sure that, if they do have an accident in the house, in a particular spot, in the hallway, in a bedroom, in a corner, closet, wherever it may be, that we prevent them from doing that again?
Sure. So of course, starting with the puppy, or even if, say, you adopted a dog, like an adult dog, treat him like a puppy. And so what that means is that this dog needs to have every opportunity for elimination, going to the bathroom, to be on the surface that you want them to go on. So if it's grass, going outside. What that means is, first of all, we're going to use some way of confinement, because dogs don't like to soil where they sleep or lay. So that means I need to keep him where he can't get up in the middle of the night and just go somewhere else to go to the bathroom. So that means either a crate or a cage or baby gated in a small room. And as soon as that animal, that dog, wakes up or gets up, they have a full bladder. They need to go to the bathroom. And I'm a firm believer in put the leash on the dog, even if you have a fenced-in yard. Because when the dog sees the leash, she knows, okay, I've got a job to do, plus you have the ability to lead the dog to the same place. It's like habit. The same place each time. When the dog is in the act of going, dogs need to hear or get that verbal reward or get the food reward within 1 second of doing the right thing to know that was the right thing.
That quickly?
Yes, it has to be. And so therefore, when he's outside and he's passing pee, you could say, oh, you're such a good dog. And as soon as they stand up, bingo, right there's where they get the food treat. When you give him the treat inside, the dog thinks he's good for coming inside. And so he may relieve some of the urine out there, but he wants to come to the door and come inside because that's what he's getting rewarded for. So he has a full bladder, and then an hour later, he's got to go to the bathroom, and you're not thinking and paying attention, and so then he has an accident in the house. So the second thing I tell puppy owners, so you're attached, you have to do the reward outside, the dog knows where we're going, and then we may walk the dog. Then when a puppy is up, and again, I say even for the rescued and adult dogs, treat them like a puppy. They've been up, they've been playing around. I set the kitchen timer for an hour, and you just take them outside again. And it's all very much the same ritual. Hi, you want to go outside? Clip the leash on, you go out, they go to the bathroom, good dog, reward. And now the dog is learning to go to the door. That's how they learn to go to the door or to come to you. I think it's actually better for the dog to come to you, because then they're going to kind of give you the look or that little thing that has, got to take you out. And that's how we prevent problems. Secondly, confinement. We can't let the dog run all over the house, because if you're on the phone or on your computer and you don't see them standing by the door coming to you and like, I got to go, and they have an accident then on the carpeting, after about 3 or 4 times, it's called substrate preference. the dog starts to think, oh, well, that's my house toilet. That's where I'm supposed to go. That's
the
another
spot.
surface where I'm supposed to go to the bathroom on. So that's why I say even using a leash on a puppy, if it's been an hour and maybe you can't get to him for 15 minutes, to tie him up like that. So that way, after that, because they don't want to go where they have to lay on it. Or you're going to see them really fussing around, like, oh yeah, that's right, I have to take you out. And then you take them out and reward them.
Maybe there's no positive or negative to this, but I think as a puppy or a small dog, as a pet owner, as soon as you open that crate, if you do choose to crate them, you pick them up and carry them and take them outside. Should you do that? Because I think pet owners think if I pick them up and carry them, they're not going to urinate on me. And they want to go as soon as they get out.
That tends to be true. That can be fine, except I don't think it helps the dog to learn how to be kind of like walking around in the house and like seeing you and then what you do, which means like you get up out of the chair and walk to the door and clip the leash on them. You know, when you're carrying them all the time, they're not learning kind of that ritual of like find you, do my little turnaround dance. Oh, we go to the door. Yes, yes, because these are called prompting words. When you say, gotta go? You want to go? And they spin around and then they actually go right to the door. You say, oh, good dog for going. And it actually can get a dog to eliminate quicker outside. So that's why I say keep the leash next to the carrier. So you clip it right on there and out you go. Because otherwise if they go scampering around the house and they're excited, then all of a sudden they drop and they go to the bathroom because they're excited and they can't hold it with a full bladder. So even in the small breeds, yeah, I think I'm just really see a big difference when a leash is used. We have a lot more success than when we don't use it.
You mentioned marking. Is that something only dogs do? And I guess why do they mark? Especially in a household where there may be multiple dogs. Is that more common for a dog to do that? What is marking for those?
Marking is it's how a dog says, I live here, it's mine, this is where I am. Cats do the same thing. And so dogs use their urine and they use their stool for that. So they really don't need to or want to mark where they're sleeping and laying because their own body's there and they know that. But they want their more environment, you know, out in kind of the world to be marked. So that's why in the yard they usually like to put it though more in one area and keep the other area clean. And then a dog may urinate on top of where another dog went just as a way of saying, I'm really here too, or this is also part of my property. And cats, we shaped their marking behavior into a box. That's how they go in a litter box. When they're outside cats, they're going in multiple places around, you know. But they all, in domesticating the cat, they all learn to put it in a box, provided it's kept clean. Because especially for the cat, if we have not scooped the wet litter out of that box daily, so the cat goes, I already marked there, gotta go somewhere else. Say it's my house. It's not just a matter of is the entire box filled or not. It's like, you know, that's the spot, the box is marked. So therefore that's why it's really best to scoop the litter box, I say twice a day. That probably means people do it once a day or every other day, but that's why it matters to the cat.
Should we punish our pets? I can tell you, I know lots of folks and have witnessed it myself where their animal goes in the house and their instinct is to rub their nose in it.
Yes, because that's the old advice. Here's what happens with the punishment. It may, if you caught the animal in the act, so the puppy is squatting, and you don't, and the punishment a punisher really means anything that stops the behavior that's going on. So we don't have to be really harsh or adversive, meaning like slapping them or hitting them or yelling at them, because then they will always then be worried of a hand coming like this. Or say you yell at your child, would you get downstairs, it's time for school.
Right.
The dog cowers because he thinks he's being yelled at, you know. Anyway, but if you like clapped your hands real quick, that would be actually a punisher or startling something, and he stops peeing, and then you immediately get him outside where he's in the right place and he urinates and you reward there. That's when that can work, but that's the only thing. So really the best thing is to go for shape the behavior you want. It's much more effective, it's much faster, and we have far fewer house training problems than punishing the behavior you don't want. And honestly, the biggest problem I think is people are not consistent. They maybe don't also understand that you have to, everybody in the home should do this the same way, and like in a young dog, every hour. You just don't even give them the opportunity to make a mistake. Give them every opportunity to do it right.
What if you work all day and you have to crate them for 7 or 8 hours?
You know, you might be able to find either a pet sitter for a young puppy to let them out at noontime, or in the confinement area have just enough space for the puppy to come out of the crate, and there's a potty pad that they can eliminate on. So now we're teaching them there's a house toilet for you, and it's the potty pad. But it can only be big enough like that, and then they go in the crate, and then as soon as you come home, you take them out to go to the bathroom, and you take them for a walk and a lot of play.
Let's talk about, you dabbled in cats, but litter boxes are important, keeping them clean, the proper litter. If you have a multiple story home, to make sure that you have multiple litter boxes in your home. If you have multiple cats, lots of stuff to talk about when the cat goes outside the box.
Yeah, yeah. So our cats in a way are convenient because you don't have to walk them, you know, you can go away for the weekend and set them up and that's that, right? But the biggest inconvenience is the litter box to a lot of people. So what's important to a cat with the litter box? First of all, the box should be 1.5 times bigger than the length of their body. And I tell you what, our cat box, litter box makers are not making big enough boxes. So what I tell clients to get is and I've got a video on our YouTube channel, on our website, get one of those big Rubbermaid keepers and cut a doorway out of it so that the lip is only about 2 inches high. Many of our litter boxes are this deep, so the cat isn't kicking all over, but when the cat gets to be, and Ranger has arthritis in the back now. He was acting a little grouchy the other day, and we took some x-rays, and at age 10, he's getting arthritis in his back, and about 90% of our cats over the age of 9 have arthritis either in the elbow or the back. So when they have to step over a litter box this high, that's like asking you or me to do the high hurdle in order to make it to the women's room, right? If I'm like, not now, I'm gonna find somewhere else to go. So if you get like a Rubbermaid keeper and you cut a hole out of the front part of it so the cat can walk straight in, and it has high sides, so they're not gonna be kicking it out all over the house. So that's a litter box a lot of cats like, and you can take the lid off if they don't like it really covered, and you can have the lid on if they do like it covered. So the main thing is we have a box. Plastic liners a lot of cats do not like. They just don't like the feel of plastic when they get to the bottom. Usually only 1 inch of litter. I know the litter containers will say a deeper amount, but what happens is the cat is always trying to get to the bottom of the box because he has more secure footing. And when he can't, you know, it's just so deep, like kind of digging in a sand hole, it keeps sliding and down around their feet, then they can't stand as securely. And then cats are very particular about what litter they like. So by and large, there's actually a study done on this, many cats like the litter that has the activated charcoal in it. That's their favorite. Or plain generic clay litter. Then the ones that they tend to like the least are the ones that have strong deodorizing pellets in there or baking soda in there. So, and then lastly, like I said, keeping it scooped every day. Now in a multi-cat home, we like to say a box per cat plus 1. Now sometimes in a home that can be like, I cannot have 4 litter boxes. You know, I don't have the room for that. So then I would say at least 2 boxes and scoop them twice a day or 3 times a day. So that every time your cat goes there, it's like, oh great, it's clean, I can use it. Okay, don't have it behind the furnace where only your teenage child cleans it out once a week. I've seen those situations. And that. So then now lastly, some of the things that can cause, like behaviorally, that can have a cat not using the box like they should be. It can be if we're changing brands of litter, or we have, you know, more than one cat sharing the box and it's not getting cleaned out regularly enough. And then lastly, if there's anything that's creating anxiety for the cat in the home. And one thing that the cat may not feel like, it's as much of my home and I have to claim space, so they may start peeing on things. And the things that create anxiety oftentimes is can be very subtle how, say, other companion cats are fighting or competing for the litter box. So you may get, say like Ranger here, it might be like, Ranger is walking to the litter box and here comes Binks and he stands right in front of the box and he stares at him like,
hey, you're not going in there.
Are you gonna use that? No, I don't think so. And Ranger's like, I don't feel like fighting right now. And so he leaves and goes elsewhere. And that's what our problem is. Our problem is about the other cat being a bully to this guy.
Let's talk about some other behavioral things. A video that's been popular on the internet is, and I know that you know what I'm talking about, a cat will be eating and for whatever reason, an owner or someone will put a piece of cucumber behind the whole cucumber behind the cat, and when the cat turns around, they're startled and it's scary, and What is the phenomenon with that?
I think it's us humans. The people think it's funny, it's like so weird, or like to us, it's just a cucumber. The cat's freaked out about it. Isn't that funny? No, it's not. To the cat, to this particular cat, maybe there was some other object like that they got hit with, who we don't know. Or just the fact that, just like if you were sitting there minding your own business, working at your computer, and then I put this big, I don't know, weird looking pear, or cactus right next to you, and you weren't expecting to see it, and then when you see it, you just startle, like like this.
Right.
And now you are, and it happened around your computer, then you tend to get really upset about your computer and everything else. I would say probably these videos of the cats, because there's also videos of the cats like, I don't care, it's a computer, or a cucumber.
Right.
These are probably cats who startle easily to lots of things that look weird or different in their environment. And so to the human, it's like, why would you be afraid of a cucumber? But hey, it's all about what's it for the cat. To this cat, that was something startling. And that cat now is in a panic. When they jump up at that high and they go running away, they're literally scared to death. That is not right, that is not good, it is not funny. That is really, I think, very harsh and harmful on them. Mm-hmm. I'm just going to come out and say it.
Do it, because hopefully we can prevent somebody from just thinking it's not harmful and it's just cute and funny and a neat video to put up online.
No, it's not. It's cruel. I think it's cruel. Mm-hmm. You know, what if you were scared to death of clowns? Right?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody have fear about anything. And for your 40th birthday, I have a clown come busting into your office.
Not going to like it.
No, not at all.
We have a couple of minutes left, Dr. Foote. Any other behavioral issues that you see from clients that come into your office that maybe you can talk about briefly, and then maybe we can help another pet owner out there watching?
Yeah, I would say this, especially in the pet that's maybe over age 3, middle age and getting older, whenever you see some kind of change in their behavior, meaning they used to be sleeping through thunderstorms and now he's acting kind of nervous and fidgety. Or they always use the litter box reliably, once a day, pees on the bathroom rug. Mm-hmm. I can wash it, not a problem. Now actually something's changing in that pet. Tell us about it. I've had it happen, like I think I was telling you before, it was a case of a cat that was going on the bathroom rug just once a day. The owner could clean the rug. Cat's acting fine, eating fine, etc. And in us just talking on this cat's checkup, I said, well, he's 10, let's run his blood work. He was diabetic. That's why he was making more urine and why he needed to urinate on the rug. And now cats don't make a lot of urine, so when it doubles in volume, it still doesn't look like that much.
Not right.
But something wasn't right, and I was glad I listened to the, okay, well, let's just maybe do this. And boy, that one slapped me in the face and reminded me then, especially with our older pets, to really ask about any changes, acting more nervous, of not playing as much. That's another one. Oh, he's just old.
Lethargic.
Or just a little quiet and lethargic. Or he just gets grouchy now about petting over his back. Well, he should really let me do this, you know? Oh, no, he's got arthritis there. That's why he doesn't like it. So now, because I took the x-ray, now I know, because we talked about this change in behavior, and now we're giving him a pain reliever, and now he's all about playing with Binks, and he likes it to be petted, and he's not as grouchy. So that's this.
So the key to pet owners is, if behaviors change, get it checked out.
Absolutely.
That's most important.
Yes, get it checked out.
Well, Dr. Foote, thank you so much for joining us for this
Thank
episode of
you.
the Paw Report. Ranger's hiding.
Are you
I think he's
hiding?
done with being the star of TV right now, but he'll be back to join us, I'm sure. Thank you so much for the information. Very useful, and hopefully pet owners out there will keep an extra eye on Fido and Fluffy. Make sure they're okay.
Yeah, well, thank you very much.
And thank you for joining us for this episode of the Paw Report. We hope to see you again on another episode. If you're a veterinarian, trainer, groomer, specialist, rescue organization, or shelter that would like to partner with the Paw Report by providing expert guests for the show, please contact us by emailing weiu@weiu.net or call 217-581-5956. If you have a topic you'd like to see on the show or questions for our experts, contact us with those too.
Dave's Decorating Center is a proud supporter of the Paw Report on WEIU. Dave's Decorating Center features the Mohawk Smart Strand Silk Forever Clean Carpet. Dave's Decorating Center, authorized Mohawk Color Center in Charleston.
Okaw Vet Clinic in Tuscola and Dr. Sally Foote remind you to properly take care of your pets and are happy to help support the Paw Report on WEIU. Okaw Vet Clinic located at 140 West Sale Street in downtown Tuscola. More information available at okawvetclinic.com.